Good morning, guys. Hope you had a great day yesterday. A lot of earnings last night, right? A lot of earnings. Not many stocks have any surprise moves like a big to the upside, except one. It's an energy stock, which I'll go over later on. But tech earnings will go over. But first, let's just go over our little indexes. SPY is holding 450. Yesterday, nice little move. Obviously, it went up and sold off later. But I think 450 would be a nice play. If SPY does get 450 tomorrow or the day after, if it gets it, you can probably play the $1-2 move to the upside on a bounce. All right, it's a scalp that you can have in your books or have it ready whenever it comes. Okay, above 450, there is a little toppy action here. There's a resistance we know, and this it went higher than this resistance. Didn't even stop here for any little flagging. It just went right through it. And I think a visit to these levels is likely, which is around 450. Right? Does it happen this week or next week? Let's see. But in order to go higher, we need to just continue holding 450. That's it. We should not break 450. If we do break 450, then we have more downside risk to 446, 442, and then all the way right here to the gap fill, which is 435-ish. Right? We don't want to make this double top. Then we're going to be in that chop zone, and it will be very hard to trade. Up from 430 straight to 457. That's a pretty big move, 20-point move, right? Many green days and higher highs, higher lows. But today, I think we might have a red day. Let's see, or we might just consolidate here to the sideways above 450. All right, so let's see what happens. For market at all-time highs, there's nothing more bullish than that, right? Qs, same thing as SPY. Possible double top. That's one scenario which is possible right here. It could be a double top, means it dips here in the coming days, right? If that happens and then it breaks support, then obviously that's a big it will be very hard to trade the market, as a lot of tech stocks were there's a possibility that these stocks can give up gains. Okay, but however, if we continue holding above 370, right, and if we get through 382, then on techs we have all-time highs, then we just keep running up. Okay, but both scenarios are possible. Double top here is possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's a possibility. However, if we take out 382, then obviously we have all-time highs coming, 390, 400. We play tech to the upside. All right. So just keep both scenarios in mind. I don't want to predict anything that I don't know, but this is one scenario that I've seen in the past. Above 370, we'll face some resistance here, and let's see if tech can take out highs above 382 this week or next week. We still have the two big giants remaining, Apple and Amazon, to report. All right. And financials just continue to rip. 38.60 was our level on must hold, and as soon as it happened and through 39, and there was that little nice rip on financials. All right, 40 is a little acting as resistance, but if we can just continue holding 40 for the next few days, we have a bigger rip on financials coming towards 45 and 50. All right, in the coming weeks. And so let's start with earnings today. So one of the most beautiful charts out there, I think the most beautiful chart in the market is Microsoft on longer term time frames. And I posted one chart in the group regarding their cloud growth. It's just beautiful. I mean, this company is just crazy the way it's growing. For many years, for 10 years, 12 years, they traded sideways. But for the last few years, it's just been on an absolute tear. Earnings per share beat, revenue beat, and for 2022 cloud, they even raised their higher outlook. All right, revenues, and I think $82 billion in just cloud alone on Microsoft. And here, where does the Microsoft go? I don't know if it continues to rip or if it consolidates here. I think it's just a nice little long-term play. Equity, I wanted a dip to 230. It didn't happen. We did get the 290, but then they ripped it right back up. So Microsoft, I won't be playing it today. It's hard to predict what it's going to do, right? It does not give too big of a move. It just goes slowly when it goes. Pre-market, if it takes out 316, if it holds 316, then we have 320. That's all I can say. 316 hold, we have 320, and then so on. All right, or maybe it comes and fills the gap here towards 310. If it comes to 310, it's likely that it rips right back up then. All right, so both scenarios possible. Google, great earnings, beat their earnings per share, beat their revenues, right? And in the last 14 years, their ad sales saw the biggest growth. In the last 14 years, ad sales saw the biggest growth. Maybe it was because of the coming out of the pandemic, whatever it was. But their earnings were good. Outlook, so-so. Google, only thing I can say technically to play this to the upside, it needs to take out 2880. That's the only number I can give. Around 2880. Someone might give you 2875. Someone might say 2885. But around those lines. There's no exact number, but around 2880 hold. All right. If it holds 2880, Google can see much higher. I don't wish to play in this chop zone. Pre-market, we're just opening a flat. They killed absolute premium on calls and puts. LB, he bought calls yesterday, and a great exit before earnings. Why gamble? He was up nice. He took his profits. So hope if you followed his calls, you guys took your profits. Today there will be opportunities to play it. If it takes out yesterday's high, then it's likely to run higher. All right. Here is the 50-day moving average, or it might not make a big move at all today, right? But given earnings, it's supposed to make a move to one way or the other. So let's see. For the first 5-10 minutes, I won't jump in. But if we do see strength, it can definitely go much higher. Okay. But 2880 is a number that I have on my radar whenever it takes out for confirmation. Or maybe I'll play a dip if it comes to 2600. Okay. So 2600 or 2880 on Google. Twitter, they beat their earnings per share. Their revenues were in line. Their daily active users are up year over year. Nothing special on Twitter earnings. But if you go on Twitter's thread, Twitter Investor Relations on FinTwit, they posted a bunch of information on Twitter and the things they're working on. I don't have enough time to go over them now, but it's a beautiful thread. So on Twitter, if you're on it, you should read it. Apple privacy policies did not make much of a difference to them, right? So they're in line. But Twitter, because it did not go down on earnings, is holding green pre-market. Facebook went down. Snap went down. Right, pins is just ugly right now. But Twitter actually holding up green is very impressive. So what's in play here? Monthly technicals are play on Twitter. All right. So I think. So let me just remove these grinds. Monthly, if the technicals stand true. If the technicals stand true, this is going to make a huge move one way, to the upside. This is a very strong pattern. This only happens after many years. It's not something that's developed every month or 6 months. From 2014, it formed a base. All right, nice little cup, a nice little handle. And if we take above these levels, which is the $73 level or 75, I'm going a little higher. If we take out this 75, this stock is going to have a monster move to the upside. They might not get buyout or something might happen. I have no idea, but this stock will have a nice little move all the way towards 100. It will be a one big green monthly candle, in my opinion. All right. So 75 is what you're looking for on Twitter, and the monthly just stand up. If the monthly stands true, earnings it did not go down. That's all I'm happy about. I did not want to go down on earnings. I'm not looking for a rip on earnings either. But now the monthly technicals are in play. All right. MACD will probably touch here and bounce back up. From what I see, I could be completely wrong. 75 if Twitter gets a lot of opportunities to make money all the way towards 100. All right. Just keep this in mind. That's all I can say on Twitter. In between, you have to go in very details on daily. On daily, I would wait for 65. On daily, you want Twitter to take out this zone right here. Right, you want it above this zone, which is 65, 67. All right, you want it above this zone. At 65, I will probably buy some calls right here. You want it above this zone and then maybe to the upside towards 70 bucks. All right, so I like Twitter's earnings, not bad. Visa, their earnings and revenues both beat. The only thing was their outlook comments that I believe until late 2022 or until 2023, their travel spending will not be back to normal until then, right? And so I think that's what took it down. And along with this, Mastercard also dipped, and Mastercard earnings are on the 28th. And for Visa, if we just go on the dip, I think it must hold 220, right? If it holds 220, next level is all the way to 206. For me to be bullish on Visa again, it has to go above 230. It's simple. Above 230, I will be the financial credit sector. I'll be on Visa. I'll be back in bullish. 230 plus, bullish. Right? It needs 230 plus. Until 230, this thing can probably go much lower. Okay, if it does not get 230, then we do have 220. It must hold 220. If it fails to hold 220, then we have all the way towards 210 and 200. Okay. And at 200, it will be a gift. I'll probably scale into some long term at 200 on Visa. But 230 plus is what's required on Visa now. Mastercard, we had our calls, right? And if you watch our Instagram, I even made a video on this that I was looking for a double on these calls. It gave us more than 100%. These calls went to It gave us a 100% move, right? 100% plus move. I did not sell mine. I thought, I risked mine. I thought I would probably get a lot more, right? And I'm not going in with heavy sizes. I'm going with small sizes. So I did, and today they will be lower. I'll actually be in red, right? Very transparent about my positions. But my target, it hit the target. It was up 100% plus. Some of you guys wait for an admin's sell. How do you know that I did not hit another 200% on something, and maybe that covers my Mastercard, and maybe you're only holding Mastercard alone? This is where managing comes in, right? If you have 100% plus winner and you let that go down, there's nothing more foolish than that. All right, don't wait for other people to sell. Your account and my account is completely different. Okay, maybe you bought more contracts. I only bought little, and you're up huge in your account, right? You need to manage or scale out, do something. Okay, our target was here. It hit our target right here, 367ish, 368, and so hope you guys scaled up. But today there's a dip on Mastercard. Let's see what happens. Mastercard, the only number that matters here is a solid 365 hold. Solid 365 hold. We go much higher on Mastercard. All right, we want Mastercard to hold above 365, and then we see a move towards 375 and 390. All right, but given the sector weakness, let's see on October 28th what they announce on the earnings. Okay. Coca-Cola, I know we don't follow this stock, but this is one of those long-term grandpa stocks that you just buy and just let it sit there, collect dividends, right? I love Warren Buffett, right? I know many people don't like these kind of stocks, but you know what, man? These are the most safest stocks out there, right? As long as people keep drinking their beverages, right? And long-term, there's nothing but growth in this stock, right? If we go on a monthly, even if you get stuck in a bad zone, there's growth in these stocks, right? And it just broke out of this base, and there was a nice dip opportunity here. Earnings are great. With the prices rising, this is probably going to go towards 60 and 65. All right, a slower mover, but you collect dividends if you have a lot of money. McDonald's also beat earnings per share and revenue, and they also said their higher prices on the menu are helping. People that eat McDonald's, they're going to eat it for $10 a meal. They'll eat it for $15 a meal too, right? I mean, it's just addicting. But McDonald's up nicely pre-market. 242 hold is a must. If we continue having a 242 hold on McDonald's, I think we go much higher. All right. In the morning, if it dips to the 50-day moving average, which is 241.25, you can probably play a bounce, and it rips all day up to the upside. Okay. So McDonald's, keep an eye on above 242 hold. It goes much higher. And one stock that's absolutely ripping on energy and Enphase Energy is up 18%, or maybe more now, I don't know. But this stock absolutely crushed their earnings, right? And it's up 18% from 173 close to is trading about $200 now. This stock, if it takes out 215, right? Here, I'll write this down. Takes out 215 and holds, we likely see 230 plus on this name. All right. Now the only thing is, the premium on options will be extremely high because of the huge increase after earnings. So I'll let it settle, but it's something that's going to settle for us for all-time highs soon. All right, part of the energy sector, and it's very strong. Hood, not much. Absolutely destroyed on earnings, right? They missed their earnings per share. Their revenues missed. Their trading levels declined. Now what happens with this, now we need to understand, since most of the retail traders use this and whatnot, when the markets are doing really good, people are making money, I think that's when this stock will also perform, right? They need more users, and more users will come into trading when people are making money or something happens, right? When the GME craze happened or the AMC craze happens, right? But Hood, if 35, around 30 is nothing but a buying opportunity, I think they're eventually going to load this thing up and take it back up. I do like this stock long term, right? But at the IPO in August, somebody asked if I'm buying it. I said I'm going to wait for at least 1 year for long term equity, because we do want to see their numbers, right? So I believe this was the second earnings that came out, or was it first? First or second, I believe. But the Hood, to the upside, it needs above a 42, 43 hold. I'll just write this here for my notes for you guys, right? Hood, solid 42, 43 hold, it needs. All right, and above that, whenever that comes, I will play to the upside, or when I see a base at the bottom here, I can play. And if they rip it all day today and take it above 40, then it's probably going to go much higher. Okay, we've seen stocks that dip sometimes, they rip it right back up in the day morning. Another beautiful earnings, AMD, just absolute stunner. So many upgrades on this name, so many upgrades, absolutely crushed their earnings. If I get AMD right here on a 110, 111 retest, I'll probably play this to the upside, right? So if I get AMD right here, if I get AMD in this range, I'll play to the upside, right? They had a lot of upgrades. They beat their earnings despite supply constraints, right? Solid execution, roadmap, and they're very well positioned for more gains on their shares in the coming months. All right, so AMD, very impressive. If we can get this 50-day moving average, 50 DMA touch to make it easier, 50 DMA, just have an alert set on your computer, 50 DMA, I'd scale in long. All right. Now this stock has already had a great run on great earnings. Doesn't mean that it's gonna rip back up, right? Many things are always priced in, and this is a very toppy candle action right here. This is very deadly. This usually means top for a short, possibly shorter or even longer term time frames. This right here, a very dangerous candle, right? So basically, we have to take it higher than this candle's close in order to avoid this. So I'm looking at this zone to play a bounce play on AMD if we get there, or a 50 DMA to be make it very simple, okay? And other than that, guys, manage your accounts. So many great winners, last couple of months. So many of you guys, your accounts are huge. Some of you guys have taken a 5K and 100K. Some of you have taken 30K to 70K, and Ricky 70K to almost 200K again. I mean, just unbelievable, right? And but you need to, some of you guys are just manage. That's all we can say, right? Keep your position sizing consistent, and with that, I mean, it's more about working the number. You can have 10 winners, but 1-2 losses. If they take back your account, that means you're not trading right. All right. Amazon, we have earnings now. On Google, guys, see, Google ran a lot. One thing I want to compare Google and Amazon. On the Google ran a lot. Let's go on the weekly chart. And Google today, guys, if it dips towards this level, 2767 or 2750, and it holds and rips back higher, it's probably going to go much higher. I think LB is he might make a play on Google in case if they rip it all day. So it's a possibility that they rip it today. But for me, for confirmation, 2080 is what I'm looking for. Google on the weekly, that's an absolute monster run since March, since the pandemic, from 1,000 to 3,000. That's a 200% move on Google, right? I mean, which is just crazy. And now I think it's about time it might rest a little bit, okay? Because here, instead of ripping, it dipped again and it's consolidating longer than usual, right? Instead of a rip, if you guys go in the past. So it might just take a little breather here, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let the 50-day moving average catch up in the coming weeks and months, and then rips back up again. And Amazon, on the weekly, it didn't do much, right? It rested, right? And when Google was resting, Amazon was running, okay? So this is just my own comparison. I think if Amazon takes out 3450, 3463 is a magic number, right? So let's just go over this. If you guys haven't wrote this down yet, write it down. 3463 through is 3500 and much more. And then obviously earnings can take it down or up, right? But for now, 3463 is what matters. And if we can take out this entire zone on the weekly, right? If we can just take out this entire zone on an uptrend, then we likely see 4,000, 4,500 very fast. A lot of upgrades on Amazon over 5K mark. And when the move is going to happen, it will be very fast and through. And yesterday we made a very smart play on Tesla, right? Well, I thought it was smart play. It's my own play. I don't praise my own plays ever, guys. But basically what we did here, we bought a range, right? Iron Butterfly sold. So I'm just going to write this down for you guys. Sold Iron Butterfly for credit. Basically what I did was I sold 1,030 calls, I sold 1,030 puts, I bought 1,050 calls to protect myself against 130 calls I sold, and I bought 1,010 puts to protect myself. Basically here, and my total credit here was $1,700, right? $1,700 credit which I received. Max loss is $300 only, okay? So my max profits were $1,700 and max loss is $300. So basically what I did, I sold these strikes to collect premium, because I saw that, 1,030 was acting like a magnet on Tesla, and right now it's trading at 1,040, which is whatever, I don't care, even if it rips or dips. But this zone, I'm expecting Tesla to So if I just draw this, I'm expecting Tesla to visit this zone or maybe close within this zone by expiry here and around here. If it closes between this zone, I take profits on this. Whatever this is worth, I'll buy it back. And if tomorrow Tesla trades around 1030 again, I will probably cover these for maybe 13 or 12 bucks. Let's see what we get on the premium. All right, today Tesla can probably rip, and tomorrow if I get a dip towards 130, I will cover my these things. And to learn more, guys, just go online, do some research. What are iron butterflies, and it'll make a lot more sense. Okay. And I think with this, guys, we'll end it. Just manage your account, right? Managing is the most important. And somebody mentioned Pfizer. Pfizer, I think they had some good news yesterday. Post market, it touched 44. Pfizer, as long as we continue holding above 43, that's the key. 43, just continue holding above 43. I think we see much higher, right? We had a nice little bounce from 41, and our spreads are up nice. They should be up nice at the open again. So manage. That's all I can say. But 43 hold, we see 45 as our first target. And Uber also has some news with Hertz to do with Tesla. Uber, as long as we continue holding 46, now we can get through this zone. That's another play which is can make a huge move. Right now, because of this sideways move, IB is low. On Uber, as soon as it takes a 48, Uber is in play. All right, from 48, we likely see 50 plus higher. So keep this in mind on Uber, guys. And with this, we'll end it. See you guys back in the chat.